Hello, this is Jamie Stewart from the musical group Shoo Shoo, and this is Angel Guts, Red Classroom Drunk Commentary. I forgot that bendy synth began this. No one wanted this to be the first track on this record. Both labels who put this out told me not to put it on there. My brother told me not to put it on there. Angela told me not to put it on there. Although later my brother told me that he thought it was kind of ballsy that there was 20 seconds of silence before the first regular song. That's a nice thing to say. I'm drinking mezcal on purpose because before this record came out, I took a vacation with Angela to Oaxaca with the artist Yanvo and his boyfriend and a couple of friends of theirs, and had mezcal for the first time while I was there. I'm hooked, aka fucked. I have to admit, and I'm not trying to be melodramatic, although that's basically the way God made me, / Satan made me. I'm nervous about doing this drunk commentary. This was the last record where my personal life was very rough for me. Forget was more of a dreamy internal exploration of subconscious horror and who knows what. And Girl with Basket of Fruit was about external horrors and aesthetic explorations, but this was a personal one. I'm not looking forward to it. There's an airplane flying over my fucking house. Every time I hear one fly over and it disrupts what I'm doing musically, I have to remember not to hope that it crashes, so it just shuts the fuck up. It wouldn't be worth it. It totally wouldn't be worth it. I could just wait for a minute for it to be quiet again, rather than hope for the death of 200 people on the plane and then probably thousands of people on the ground. Oh, one of the people at the British label who put this out told me that there was a ton of distortion on this track. I think that was an attempt to convince me not to put it out. They really didn't want it on there. Oh well. The first song was called Angel Guts. Classy. This song is called Archie's Fades. All of the, not all of them, that's BS, but a bunch of them, of the songs are named after businesses that were in the neighborhood of MacArthur Park, where I live when I first moved back to Los Angeles in end of 2012. I grew up in LA, but I had never been to this neighborhood. And I think if you have any kind of normal life, you've probably never been to this neighborhood. This song, Archie's... Oh, sorry. Anyway, it's named after businesses in the neighborhood. Did I say that? Sorry, I've had a couple already. Archie's Fades was a barbershop. I walked around the neighborhood and I wrote down the names of a bunch of businesses in the neighborhood of MacArthur Park. I had an apartment on James and Wood and Alvarado. A lot of bad shit happens in that place all the time. Don't go there. But they have some, I don't know what to say about that place. Other than, if you're a believer, pray for it. If you're not a believer, don't go there, because no one's going to help you out. Okay. This song is about my former bandmate and co-Shushu founder, Cory McCulloch. He's a fantastic musician and curious person and life philosopher. I was afraid he had killed himself. I hadn't heard from him for, I don't know, like 5 or 7 years. I can't remember how long, but he just showed up at a show. We were playing in Maine. It was pretty wonderful to see him. I learned a lot about music from him and about music philosophy. And he was telling me about that he had been seeing a psychologist and meditating a lot. And in the midst of his meditation, what was revealed to him was just an incredible void of complete and total nothingness. That there is no God, there is no past, there is no future, there is just nothing. And he thought that it was going to make him lose his mind. And that was the last thing we talked about. And then I tried to contact him a few times after that, and I never heard from him. So this song was about me being concerned that he had committed suicide. And a couple years after that, I got a video from someone who I'm assuming at the time, hopefully still was his new girlfriend. And it was a short video of them having Christmas with someone who I assume was her daughter. And he seemed happy and regular. It was nice of her to send it. I wrote her back saying to tell him hi, but I never heard from her. I think she was just letting me know that he wasn't dead, which is a relief. Angela just walked in here and asked me if she wanted me to make popcorn. Obviously, I do. Speaking of which, this is a song about Angela, our friend David Horvitz, and me getting mugged in Gardena, of fucking all places, which is a weird suburb in the endless southeast suburb hell of Los Angeles, which is where I live now as well. Not in Gardena, but in another sprawling, pointless, dreamless, uncreative, doom-laden suburb of fucking Los Angeles. I could afford to live here. Jesus fuck. I already don't feel so hot. So we got held up at gunpoint in the parking lot of a ramen restaurant, an incredibly good ramen restaurant. And the person who held us up, some idiot, obviously, I said, hey, can I get my wallet back and just give you the money because my driver's license is in there? And he said, sure. And then Angel said, hey, could I get my car keys back? And he said, oh, yeah, sure. And then David said, can I get my wallet back and give it to him? And then the guy started getting nervous. And but we got half of our stuff back, despite it was right before Thanksgiving, and we had all taken out a bunch of money because we were going to go see our family, so we all lost a bunch of money. But we didn't get killed. But it was, not surprisingly, not super fun having a gun pointed at you. I'm not that sorry. And it was the first time, I'm obviously, despite wearing black every day, my politics are hippie politics, and I had to really fight against right-wing reactionary bullshit like, fuck everybody, I'm gonna buy a gun and move to Montana. So this is as much about experiencing that dread and fear and panic as it is being disgusted with myself, or my gut reaction being that of everyone who I wish was dead and is destroying the world. Just how easily it is to go from feeling regular to feeling like a reactionary pile of shit. Anyway, it wasn't so bad. I mean, it was terrible, but we live to tell the tale. This song, Lawrence Liquors, is named after a liquor store that was around the corner from my place in MacArthur Park called Lawrence Liquors. It's still there. I was drinking a lot at the time, and it wasn't a real safe place to go to at night. So if I wanted to buy booze there, I would usually wear like a pink t-shirt and just underwear and flip-flops. So people just assumed I was insane and wouldn't fuck with me. It worked. No one fucked with me. But I'm a snob about booze, so I would always... They didn't have a ton of nice booze there, but they would have whatever, like Johnny Walker Green or something, which is... the ow, ow, ow! That's from the Shakira She-Wolf song, fully stolen. Thank you, Shakira. You're so beautiful. I want to rest my head upon your thighs and read a book to you. Or do your laundry or dishes. Either way, whatever you're into. I recorded this at John Congleton's studio. I mean, not the music, but the vocals, all the vocals, and some of the music there. And we couldn't really sort the vocals out there. I couldn't get it together. So I have to retract what I just said. The vocals for this I recorded at home and then sent to him to mix. All the other vocals we recorded at his place, formerly in Dallas, Elmwood. Wonderful studio. And it was cool of him to be able to say to me in a way that didn't make me feel like shit, this is not quite working. Go home in privacy and work on it some more. Basically, he was just keeping the standard high and telling me to do better, which is it's a skill to be able to say that to somebody in a constructive way. I recorded it with a Shure Green Bullet microphone, which I still have the same one. It's in a box that is for Electro-Harmonix Russian Big Muff, the green one. It just occurred to me the microphone is green and the box for the pedal that it lives in is green.
That makes way more sense than I thought it would.
I think we got some shit about Stupid in the Dark and Lawrence Liquors sounding too much the same. It's hard for me to admit this, but it is not untrue. We got kind of a lot of shit for this record. That clicking is me moving the mouse. That's not very classy. Computers are fucking stupid. Regards to the for Shelvin, not only for just reviews wise, it was I don't know. We got kind of savage for this one. I don't know why. I like this record a lot. Angela told me it's her favorite Shusha record. I mean, not just because the song Black Dick, if you're an idiot, you have a reactionary reaction to, but I guess that's what reactionaries do, is react. I don't know. This record beat me up a lot. I felt like I needed to quit music. I needed to take a drink. Mezcal. I did go to mortuary school orientation because I thought I was going to quit music, and everybody there was either an 18-year-old goth woman just out of high school or a 45-year-old mom who was just divorced, and then me. We were going to go on tour for this record. We got a bunch of shit reviews. It freaked me out. And I don't know if the psychology around that, about feeling so sort of stupid and hurt, made me lose my voice, or if I had some physical... I mean, I've always had a ton of throat problems, or if it was just weird timing, but I'm sure the stress around it caused my voice to explode, and we had to cancel the first US tour for this. I mean, obviously a title like Black Dick is problematic on its face. I feel like I just have to say it, although I think I've probably written it more than once. This song is just about the concept of racial fetishization of all races. It is not advocating for it, but on the other side, it's just an attempt to accept that fetishization of people or races or objects is not something that people can understand. And it questions whether or not it is good or bad, but it may be impossible to understand the concept of sexual fetishization or fetishization of any kind of people, races, or things. Someone knows what to say. It is not me. When we were recording this, we couldn't come up with a congleton, and I couldn't come up with a chorus, and he just said, just say black dick over and over again, and just... So it's his fault. I mean, not really. Oh, here's Angela with popcorn. I don't know how I feel about trying to talk about this sensitive subject. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not going to eat while I talk about this. I stand by the song in that it is an exploration of questions. I would like to clarify that it is not an espousement of racial fetishization in any way. It never was. And it never will be. And I think most people understand that. But I think a few people thought that it was an abdication of treating people like objects. It is not. It is questioning what it means to do that, what it means if you like to have that done to you, what it means if you hate to have that done to you, what it means if you find yourself doing that to other people and you like it, what it means if you find yourself doing that to other people and you are repulsed by your own behavior, or what it means if you find yourself doing that to other people but you feel totally neutral about it. Once this kind of uninteresting band called the Downtown Boys yelled at us after a show in Philadelphia in, I think, 2016 about playing this song. And I was super tired. It was after a show, and I have a bad temper, which I've been working on. It's not cool that I have a bad temper. I don't feel good about it. And they were saying, hey, what's up with this song? And basically my bullshit reaction, which I'm super embarrassed by, was just, fuck you, don't hassle me. And they were just like, whoa, what's your fucking problem? This song is potentially super problematic. You got to explain it. And I was like, fuck you, I don't want to explain it. And then they got all mad at me. And I explained it very poorly. I feel super embarrassed about the whole thing. I mean, I don't think they're the sharpest tools in the shed. It seems pretty obvious to me what the song is about. I mean, they have a song where they scream out ISIS, ISIS, ISIS over again. And you could say, oh shit, they're pro-ISIS because they yell at ISIS, ISIS, ISIS over again. But I'm sure most people are smart enough to realize that they're not pro-ISIS. So I assume that they would be smart enough to realize that we're not pro-racists to the degree that it's possible for people not to be racist. We are trying not to be racist, working hard not to be racist. Anyway, I yelled at them a lot, and they yelled at me a lot, and I feel bad about losing my temper. I tried to talk to them about it later, and they just blew me off, which I thought was kind of jive, but whatever. Their music sucks. But I respect the fact that they tried to call me out on it. Although, again, I will reiterate that I'm embarrassed that I handled it like a complete chump. But it's cool that they stood up for what they believed in. That I have a lot of respect for. But quit copying Riot Girls. Make up your own shit. Thank you for holding on to your political beliefs. And thank you for not letting me slide on something that was unclear. To you, not to everyone else in the world, but to you. But be more creative. And the nominees for the biggest asshole of the year award goes to Shoo Shoo and Downtown Boys. And the winner is obviously Shoo Shoo. This song is another song on this record named after a business that is in MacArthur Park, or was at the time that this record was made. The song is about committing suicide with someone that you love as a reaction to climate change. I don't think this is a terrible idea, and will probably be the way that I die. I have no interest in enduring Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Mad Max 1, and the new Mad Max with Charlize Theron. Everyone who survives global warming, except for Eugene Robinson and his family, are going to be complete piles of shit, and I don't want to live with fuckheads like that. I don't know, so like 2050? When is that, 30 years from now? Is supposed to be when it starts to become unendurable, even for people in developed countries. It's supposed to become unendurable in about 10 years for people in developing countries, and we'll just continue to look away as we always have. I guess it's just an extension of colonialization. So I at the time that I made this record, I lived in a place that had a fire escape, and I thought, okay, this is 5 floors up or 4 floors up. That's probably enough to kill me. But fuck, maybe not. Maybe it was a shitty decision to think that 5 floors would kill me, instead of just becoming completely paralyzed, and then therefore having to live out the environmental apocalypse that I helped cause in a hospital. So if I do it, 10 floors minimum. This song is called El Naco, another business in MacArthur Park, a bar that's still there. I do know it's still there because I drove by it 2 nights ago. El Naco means like the redneck, essentially, in Spanish, if you hadn't figured that out. I don't know if it has the same social/political connotation that redneck has, or if it just means like I'm not totally sure what it means, or what if it has the same implication as redneck has. This was the last song that was written on this record. Oh, the signage for El Naco is fucking incredible. It's on 7th or 8th and Alvarado, east of Alvarado on 7th or 8th. It's paintings, like hand-painted signage of a couple of people that, I don't know, it is profound works of art. This is the last song that was recorded for this record. I asked Congleton, all the other songs were done. I was like, should I just be done or keep working on records? And he was like, what are you talking about? Oh, keep writing always. And I was like, oh, thanks, good advice. And since then, I've tried to keep doing that. He's a smart guy. I wrote this while in Hamburg, Germany. This is some fucking developed country person stuff. While on a week hiatus, while working on some music for a dance piece at a art festival that takes place in Hamburg at a wonderful venue. I'm so drunk I can't remember what it's called. The person who runs it is called Andrash. She's a beautiful, super talented, incredibly wonderful curator in person and really cute. I want to give him a little kiss and a hug. Kampnagel. Jesus fucking Krebus. Anyway, I wrote this song at the kitchen table of the apartment that Kampnagel set us up for. It's about a sex worker who lived or worked in front of my apartment in MacArthur Park and would frequently be totally naked. And she had some face tattoos. I would watch her taking a shit between cars. I saw her so often that we would wave and say hi to each other. I mean, we were essentially neighbors. This was in 2013. I really hope she's okay. I bet she's probably dead. She didn't seem to be doing great. I really hope she's all right. This song is called Adult Friends. Prior to having lived in the oft and most likely to be mentioned again neighborhood of MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, I lived in Durham, North Carolina. I don't know which is worse. Actually, MacArthur Park is fascinating. Durham is boring as fuck. MacArthur Park, although a fucking horror movie, is at least interesting. Gonna take a sip. And I think in the last 6 months that I lived there, I got to be friends with a woman. I'm not gonna say her name, her real name. I will make up a name and say her name was Germania. It's not her real name. I kind of felt like she had a for real boyfriend, and I kind of felt like she wanted to fuck, but she wanted to be loyal to her real boyfriend. We never fucked, but there was some full-on crazy-ass flirting happening. One time I gave her a piggyback ride under a bridge. We were hanging out at this bar called The Whiskey. And one of my favorite bartenders in the entire world, actually my favorite bartender in the entire world, what's this one of BS? Jeff Johnson, best bartender in the entire world. Saw us hanging out and being flirty. He knew she had a boyfriend, and he was looking at us like, what are you stupid people doing? Anyway, I gave her a piggyback ride, and it was a really... There's some pigs. A sexualized piggyback ride. I recorded these pigs. I went on a crazy-ass road trip along the Mexico-United States border. These are from an abattoir. I guess it must have been a maquiladora abattoir, where a lot of pig murders happen. Anyway, this song is about this person, Germania, and us trying to be friends, but it not being possible because we were sort of misbehaving, but not behaving, but we were too stupid. She left me a present in a vacant lot, or said she did. And I tried to find it, but I could never find it. I hope she's great. She's a really cool person. The Silver Platter is the name of yet another business in MacArthur Park that's still there because I drove by it a couple days ago just to get myself back in the zone for this drunk commentary. It is a trans bar on 6th, east of Alvarado, right across the street from MacArthur Park, the park of MacArthur Park, where people frequently are murdered or kill themselves by dying in the park. I mean, walking into the lake in the middle of the park. Which it used to be a site of a bunch of murders, and a ton of drug dealing, which still occurs, but the gangs that own the park divided it into sections so the cops wouldn't fuck with them, so no one dies. Because cops don't give as much of a fuck about drug dealing as they do about murder. So this is named after the bar, the Silver Platter. I am super embarrassed to admit that I can't remember what the song is about. I gotta listen to the lyrics for a second. We played it a bunch on tour. We toured this record longer than we toured any other record. From 2000, despite having to cancel the first tour, because I'm apparently weak as fuck. If someone hurts my feelings, my entire body shuts down. Or my entire body shuts down of its own accord. And it's super powerful. And must heal itself. Fuck you, all music journalists of Earth. Yeah, we toured this record for 2 years, which is a long time. Usually we'll tour a record for a year, and then take a year off and do side projects and record, and that's it. But yeah, we toured this, we were playing songs on this record and through September of 2016, I forget, came out in February, I think, 2017. Okay, I suck. I don't know what this song is about. I do remember that when we played this, if I listened to it again when you weren't around, I could remember it. but I'm drunk and I can't concentrate, and I'm also feeling embarrassed. But when we played this live, I do remember dreading that this song was coming up because it required a lot of physicality on my part. And I think it was later in the set. I like having sets that the songs are the same in a row because you get a, for lack of a better word, you get a groove going, and you get, it's like a beginning, middle, and end, and you know how to project yourself forward. And I think it's less interesting for the internet, but I think it's better for people at shows because you can put more of yourself into it. But it was later in the show, I think it was the 9th or 10th song, and it required a lot of physical movement on my part to play the parts properly. And I always felt like I was going to throw up by the time this song came up. But I think after this, we played it 10,000 times a minute from Chapel of the Chimes, where basically I didn't have to do anything but just stand there and sing and hold a vibrator and a gong or something. This song makes me feel terrible. Bitter Melon is not the name of a business in MacArthur Park. This drum beat is from... I'm going to stand up and look at it right now because I'm staring right at it. From the Korg Rhythm 33, a preset drum machine. At this time, I was collecting a bunch of preset drum machines. That's the only one I kept. I wish I kept them all. It was dumb of me to sell them on...
I guess it would have been eBay.
So I'm real close to my brother. He is a complicated person. And when I moved back to Los Angeles, shortly thereafter, he moved to Los Angeles. Right, I think like days afterwards, which we had lived apart for several years, and I was very, very excited about this. I was living in Durham, and he had been living in New York for years and years and years. He was moving to Los Angeles. And I love his children. I love his wife. And it ended up, especially his first son and I are really close. I was there when he was born, and just for whatever reason, we're real tight. I love his other son very much. Also, the people you hear in the background are from a market in Guyana, where I went on a birdwatching trip in 2011, I think. But at this time, fuck, I am lit. Sorry, this is a lot of mumbling. Thanks for being patient. So my brother and his family moved to Los Angeles, and it turns out it doesn't work out. And about 4 or 5 months after them being here, they moved to Oregon. And I was just feeling really happy about being close to family, especially family that I loved. And it was a quick decision, and it was the right decision for them. And I don't resent them for making this decision in any way. But I really needed them to be nearby. And I think them moving, I think it hurt as much as my dad committing suicide. It hurt for years, and I feel myself tearing up, and it still hurts now. Even though I'm gonna go see them next week, there was something about that it was hard. It was hard. I love them a lot, and I know that they love me, but it was hard. They were just trying to figure out what was best for them. But there are two things that I think about that still make me want to just lay down face first into mud. One was they were trying to figure out what to do, and they were like living in a hotel for a while. And I went to visit them, and my brother's son, I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he jumped on the bed, and he just jumped across the room into my arms. And I said, "What have you been doing?" And he jumped across the bed and jumped in my arms, and he said, "We saw the movie The Croods." And I caught him, thank God, because if I had not caught him, he would have just smashed his entire little child's body into the wall. And I just think a lot about, he was so unraveled about not knowing where his life was going that he didn't even think about what was going to happen to his physical form. And I'm glad I was there at that moment. And my brother, who I know he has a hard time with deep emotions, less so now than then, but very much so then, looked at me like, I don't know, a way I can't describe. And then the last night that they were gonna live in Los Angeles, I went to go hang out with them, and I played a lot with his kids, and my brother and his wife just sat on the other side of the room watching that British car show. I can't remember what it's called, but unengaged with the play. And I really wish, I don't know, still this day, I wish I had encouraged or invited them to be a part of the playing that we were doing. Just to let them know that I wasn't trying to judge them for their decision, or just to have the last night be something that was more about being together. But I didn't want to let their kids down, but even though I was feeling very, very sad. Anyway. Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Okay, so A Knife in the Sun. I know that I stole this title. I know that I stole this title. I can't remember where I stole it from. It is about the spirit Santa Muerte. When I lived in the 10,000th time mentioned neighborhood of MacArthur Park, there's all these botanicas there that are Santa Muerte botanicas, and a really prominent Santa Muerte temple. I didn't know about it before I had lived there. When I was there, I became fascinated by it, and it's become a small touristic part of my life. I know that I'm a honky from the valley, and it's not really appropriate for me to become deeply into it, but it's certainly something that resonates for me in a small orbital way. So I started looking into it, and this song is about her. The colors that are mentioned are about different forms of Santa Muerte, and what it means to look to her for guidance. So if you're unfamiliar, Santa Muerte is a neutral spirit. You can ask her to do anything good or bad, that there's no judgment at all. It's not like most religions where there's the concept of good and evil. You just ask her for a favor and show her devotion in order to have that favor granted, whether or not that favor is quote-unquote good or quote-unquote bad. And having grown up in a Christian household, this was a new concept for me. And I think in the back of my mind, it's not like even though in spiritual, i.e., I think all beliefs are fine. In an A-okay kind of way. I think that there's a kind of Western dualistic moralism that is woven kind of deep into my personage, where it's difficult for me to be a true devotee to Santa Muerte. And I don't know. Life is long. We'll see what happens. But I still think it's fascinating, and I think it's wonderful that people can just be. Cynthia's Unisex. I know that you were about to say that this is the name of a salon in MacArthur Park. It is also a song about getting fucked in the ass and in the mouth and the vagina at the same time. Or in the mouth and the ass if you don't have a vagina at the same time. That's really all that this is about. is just double penetration. Unapologetic, wanting to get thoroughly and completely fucked, or triple penetration if you have the physiology for it. I was having a ton of three-ways? No question mark. A ton of three-ways at the time that this record was being made, and for the couple years that we were touring it. Not a ton, but 6 or 7? That's a few. That's like a legit number of three-ways. I mean, not like more than everyone, but more than I had ever had before. So I guess I was just thinking a lot about what you could do in this situation with an extra number of holes and or an extra number of projectiles, where they could all go. And then also just thinking about being a total fucking slut. If you didn't know, less so now, but I am a full-on fucking hoe. I will fuck anyone who will fuck me. And some of that has to do with just being real horny, and some of that has to do with insecurity, and some of that has to do with curiosity, and some of that has to do with liking people, and some of that has to do with just liking to fuck. I mean, I fucked a ton of people I shouldn't have fucked, and a ton of people who shouldn't have fucked me have fucked me. But too late. If I treated you badly, sexually or personally, I'm real sorry. And if you treated me badly, sexually or personally, I'm sure you don't care. I hate everyone but you is one of my favorite Shushu lyrics. And I guess I don't want you to care because I feel shitty about myself most of the time. And I probably feel like I deserve to be treated badly. We didn't play this song live that often. I think on the second half of tours for this record that we did. I think the first time I know the first time we did it was at the Venice Biennale, curated by the aforementioned Jan Vo. He got us really good gear and in a big room, which they lit completely red. So everything was red and it was super loud. And I had a hilarious and terrible three-way that night. Da-da-da-da-da. Boom! Oh yeah, this bit. Det var dem svet ma bud marfsnasnes. No, Sneaking what's wrong with Boomerang?
Giver. Stand up. Hela även fina.
Oh, Botanica. This is a fucking cheery song. Congleton told me this song needed some bass. When we recorded it, the low end was not in it at all, and he gave me one of those little Fender Mustang basses, and I was playing this kind of like fusion-y bass line, and he kept looking over his shoulder at me, and I thought, oh, he must think I'm fucking shredding. And then later I thought, he's trying to let me know that what I'm playing, this Stanley Clarke stuff, which when Stanley Clarke plays it is cool, but when I play it, it sounds fucking stupid. So I just played the tonic of each chord on some weird ass synth that he had. It's like a 3-rack space synth, and you put in a cartridge to change the filter style. And it doesn't have buttons. It has like a flat face with plastic, and I don't remember. If you're a total synth nerd, you know what I'm talking about. Obviously, this is about abuse in a relationship. I don't want to talk about the specifics. That line is about that if somebody hurts you, it hurts for a long time. It hurts forever, maybe. But if somebody kisses you, if something good happens, then it only feels good for a short time. That the feeling of pain, unfortunately, lasts so much longer than the feeling of happiness lasts. If you're me, maybe if you're in jail for life and you're Nelson Mandela, then you can think about good things for a long time to get you through jail. If I went to jail, I think I would last about 15 seconds. And then I would jump in the barbed wire and cut my throat. Congleton said he liked this last bit where it's a list of different people that I had different kinds of relationships with, but all very intimate to wide degrees. Speaking of synth, this I was gonna say I played it on the Moog Sub Fatty, but I didn't play it on that because I bought that synth when I was staying at Congleton's house because he told me that we needed more bass in our music. So I think I must have played it on the Prophet 08. I always like that. I think the rhythm of that is made by the UAD plugin, the Cooper Time Cube, which I've tried to replicate using a hose, which it was a delay unit that used the hose, but my version of it did not work. Red Classroom coming up. I completely forgot that this was even here or what it sounds like. I don't know if that noise is real analog noise or is bullshit Pro Tools noise from the noise plugin. That sound, which I completely forgot was even on this record, was from the Oberheim SEM Pro 1, the reissue. It's a beautiful synth. It's a trapezoid, a very fantastic black knobs with very fantastic off-white chassis, hand signed by Tom Oberheim. It's pretty. I'm staring at it right now. So I think I held back a little bit just to kind of keep from having the night be as bad as it could possibly be. But thank you very much if you ever listen to this record. A lot of this record is about wanting to die at my own hand, which I feel fairly sure is the way that I will eventually die. I'm curious as to what the world will become, and I figure if I'm going to die anyway, I might as well hang out and see what's going to happen, which is what I say to people when they write in and say, hey, I want to kill myself. What do I do? Hang out. You're going to die anyway. See what happens. Why not? Fuck it. But I'm pretty sure by the time that things become complete and total unmanageable shit that, I mean, I can barely get to the day when things are fine. So when it's genuinely awful, like, 4 or 5 times more awful than they are now, that fuck that and fuck you for making it be this way.